last week, even though we had the content humming, even though we didn't miss any shows, your boy was actually in the great state of Arkansas, getting some time with the family, getting a little rejuvenation for the season. And so that's like a 5.5 hour drive from Nashville. Bottom line, your boy had some windshield time. All right. So during that windshield time, get to thinking about the show, get to thinking about segments, get to thinking about y'all. And one of the things that popped into my mind was like, man, how do we fix this transfer portal? Because I think everyone across the board in college football can agree the transfer portal is a good thing for the most part. There should be player mobility, but it's also a little bit broken right now. Coaches feel that way. I think fans feel that way. I don't think we want guys playing for 5 different teams in 4 years. You hear what I'm saying? I think it needs to be fixed. So during my drive from Nashville to Arkansas, I think I fixed the transfer portal. All right, so a couple of things I want to throw out at you. The first and most important fix to the transfer portal is we are going to have one window for immediate transfer eligibility. There will still be a time where you can transfer in the spring, but if you transfer in the spring, you will have to abide by the old rules. Ergo, you got to sit out a year. All right, we'll circle back to that. But let's focus on this first portal window that I just spoke to, the one portal window that will allow you to transfer and be eligible immediately. Going to do a couple of things to this, all right? First, we're going to cut it from 30 days down to 20 days. All right, so shave it up a little bit. Give Pete Nakos and Steve Wilfong a little more time with the family, you would hope. Like, listen, everybody knows they're going to transfer in October anyway if you're transferring in the winter for the most part. Like nobody's really sitting there, the weekend of the conference title game and saying, man, should I do it? Like, you've thought this through already. Most guys already know where they're going to go. So we're going to shave it from 30 to 20 days. We're also going to move that window post-national title game. So we're not going to have this whole thing during the college football playoff where guys are like, hey, I might jump in. Hey, I might do it. I might jump in the transfer portal if you don't give me what I want to get. We're going to try and negate that a little bit. The reason for this is we are trying to make this a thing where there is more leverage for the schools as opposed to just all the leverage with the players, okay? Like the reason why we have this one transfer portal window, go back to the Nico Iamaleava situation with Tennessee and how that whole thing went down. If Nico Iamaleava's camp is not able to make him eligible for the next season without a shadow of a doubt, they probably don't walk in with as much bravado and demand as much of Tennessee, and they don't have as much leverage to demand what they demanded from Tennessee, and that whole thing, you would hope, gets worked out and Nico stays at Tennessee and it's not the black eye for college football or the bad story for college football that it was. Now, I fully understand there will still be back channels, there will still be tampering, all that will still exist, but it won't have the same, I don't think, immediate impact that it would have if you have the transfer portal open during the college football playoff and all that going on. So that's the first window. To recap it, we're shaving it from 30 days to 20 days, and we are making it a thing where that is the only window you can immediately be eligible for the upcoming college football season, and it's after the national title game. All right? So let's make that clear. Now, you say, well, JD, what about the spring portal window? It still exists, but we're eliminating it as we know it. Because right now, you can transfer after spring practice, no big deal, you're eligible right away. That's not the case anymore. In the way that I'm fixing the transfer portal, we go back to the old rules of you have to sit out for one college football season if you transfer post-spring practice, all right? Now, the reason why I want to do this is because I think the guys that transfer post-spring, I don't always align with the reasons as to why they would transfer. A lot of the times it's things like, well, I want more NIL. Well, I lost my job, so I got to transfer somewhere else. And I hear all that, but like we need to, as much as possible, incentivize guys playing football during spring practice with the team they're going to play with in the fall. Because I think it helps the coaching staff know who their guys are going to be for the upcoming season. It helps the players put up their best performance for the upcoming season. Like it gives us a better quality of ball, and it helps everyone involved that's actually playing the sport, all right? Now, you say, well, JD, but the spring window, like what if you got a coach that comes in and he's new? Okay, well, if that happens, then you hit the reset on what the winter portal was. So I'm not saying new head coach shows up and you got to go through spring practice, and if you transfer, then shame on you. You got to say, that's not what I'm saying. New head coach, you do have that opportunity to transfer if that ends up being the case that you find yourself in and you don't like your situation. So there's that part of it. So the two buckets are you have a head coaching change, That's the all-time exception. The other bucket, though, is what I just said. I want more NIL. I'm not going to my position battle, whatever. The solution, I think, here for that second bucket of guys that like genuinely are going to battle for a spot, but after they finish spring practice, they're going to lose their job, and they're like, hey, well, a great example of this is Steve Angeli. Steve Angeli at Notre Dame, we told you we think he's going to start for Notre Dame in the fall and going to be your starting quarterback, but if he didn't win the job in the spring, he was not going to have another year of eligibility to use it, to wait another year at Notre Dame. Like, this is his last shot for Steve Angeli. And so what I want to implement here to fix the spring transfer portal and fix the portal overall is two separate terms for someone in Steve Angeli's spot. The first is a competitive redshirt. Okay, competitive redshirt. What do I mean by that? Well, what happened for Steve Angeli is, let's say that what happens, doesn't win the job at Notre Dame. He's not forced to transfer somewhere else and learn a playbook through fall camp and have to play one season and just put his best foot forward for the NFL draft. He gets a chance now to have a competitive red shirt to go somewhere, sit out for a year, and then the next season, without using that last year of eligibility, he gets to play that last year of eligibility a year from now, if you're tracking that, all right? Now, the other thing that could happen, let's say Steve Angeli says, you know what, I don't want to do the competitive red shirt thing. I want to play now. He then has the opportunity to submit to Marcus Freeman to ask for a competitive release, where Marcus Freeman can say, okay, you know what, Steve Angeli, you did right by us. You want to play this year. You don't want to be in college any longer. We're going to grant you this competitive release to play right now. Now, if Steve Angeli doesn't get his competitive red shirt, which is a one-time thing, doesn't get a competitive release, well, then we're a little bit out of luck. But I do think that there's a lot of validity to the idea that we need to give credit to these guys that are saying, you know what, I can go win a job in the spring. I'm going to put my best foot forward and let the chips fall where they may. I think we need to reward that and incentivize that. I'm not here for guys saying, well, I may not win the job in the spring, so I got to transfer somewhere else tomorrow. Like, let's reward guys wanting to be competitive, all right? So that's what the whole reason behind the competitive redshirt and the competitive release. Should be noted, the competitive redshirt is a one-time thing. So you don't get to submit for 3 or 4 competitive red shirts. Also, we got a real committee doing this thing. We got football people. I don't know who exactly yet. We got football people assessing, hey, were you actually in a position battle? You don't just get to submit, floozy competitive red shirt waivers every other year and try to get a new year of eligibility. We're not doing that. But I do think there's a lot of value in these guys having spring practice, being rewarded for wanting to compete during spring practice. And then if you don't win the job, okay, we're not going to punish you for losing the year of eligibility. You're going to have the opportunity now to get that year of eligibility back. So we fixed the portal. Congratulations to everyone involved, man. We did it. It's a monumental day for us here on this show and a monumental day for college football. So for the powers that be in college football, I don't know who that is anymore. It's definitely not the NCAA. Maybe it's going to be Nick Saban at some point. I don't know. But the powers that be in college football, competitive red shirt, competitive release, and bombs away, baby. We love that. We love that. We love that. We love that.